Basically, how everything came to be was I grew up doing Taekwondo at my parents' martial arts school in Canada, located in Barrie, just an hour north of Toronto. And yeah, I did Taekwondo for many years, got my third degree black belt in Taekwondo. I then started training Brazilian Jiu Jitsu when I was about 13, 14 years old. Got my blue belt in Jiu Jitsu. I was a national champ in Canada at one point. And, from there, I was looking for a job as a teenager. My parents had the opportunity for me to start working at their school. So I started teaching classes there, and it was a great experience. But after a couple of years, and after being the main person assigned to their 3 to 5 year old classes, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I was like, those classes were just, yeah, I had to quit from that. Um, but then an opportunity arose in my last year of high school where they had an opening in their office to do like their office management and sales and marketing. And I was so excited because I never had a legit job before, and I was really excited to get started and to try to help give back to my parents. And it was great. At first, we were doing all the traditional stuff, like we would print off thousands of flyers and go house to house and just put them up, or I'd have like lists of like hundreds, if not thousands of leads, and from morning till night every day, I would just be like cold calling. And it wasn't like people have it easy nowadays where it's like leads coming in from like websites and Facebook ads. These people have never heard of us. I'm just like calling random people like, hey, this is Adam from Champs Academy. So it was tough. Um, but through all of that stuff, I it was getting my parents some decent results, but it wasn't what we needed to move their business forward. And I remember at the time, I think it was late 2016, early 2017, I was preaching to my parents, hey, we need to focus on social media. We need to focus on building a brand. We need to focus on content. This is a new way of doing things. People are spending more time on social media, and we need to go where the attention is. And at first, they brushed it off. They still wanted to stick with their traditional marketing methods, but eventually they gave me a chance. And I started filming content for them. I started building up their social media channels. I redesigned their website. It sucked at first, but I kept making it better over time. And I just kept iterating at that over the next 3 years or so. And just through constant iteration and putting more time into social media and helping them build their brand and just constantly looking at their program and thinking how can we make it better. I helped take their school from about 24,000 a month to just shy of $60,000 per month within a 3 year period. So I was about 19 at the time, and they were getting really good results, but I was at a point where I was like, I want to have my own business. Like ever since I was a kid, I knew I wanted to be a businessman, even though I didn't know what that meant. And I was like, okay, like I feel like I'm hitting a ceiling at my parents' school. I don't know what I want to do. I want to take that jump, but like you're comfortable in the role. And then the pandemic hit, March of 2020. I was like just turned 20 years old at the time. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna take this as my opportunity to start my business. And pretty much from morning till night, every single day, I just locked myself in my room and I was taking courses, I was watching YouTube videos, I was networking with other marketers online. And another, pretty unfortunate, but at the same time too, I'm sure you guys have heard, I know it's different in, different states, but the lockdowns in Canada were pretty intense. Like my parents' martial arts school was closed for like they couldn't operate. I think for over like a year and a half, like off and on, maybe up to 2 years. And basically, my parents' landlord wasn't willing to work with them. They were in a tough situation, and they lost their martial arts school of over 14 years at the time. And it was a really tough time for my family over the pandemic because my parents were trying to figure out how they were going to pay their mortgage, and like I'm one of 7 kids. I'm like the oldest, so like there's a lot of siblings too that they need to provide for, and yeah, it was just a tough
And they're
time.
all freaking big. Look at all of them. They're all over 6 feet tall.
Yeah.
That's a lot of damn food. Hi.
We're Giants. Um, yeah, we always get asked the question, oh, should you be playing basketball or anything? But yeah, I needed to find out a way to help my parents. So through just like grinding from morning till night every single day, I eventually helped them get their virtual program up and running, got them to like about 150 students just from like Facebook ads and social media posting, emailing people on their list. And then at the end of 2020, they were finally able to reopen their school, which was great. And I remember how happy like my parents were at the time. It was like the start of a new journey, and it was crazy. Like they're pretty much restarting back from like zero, and I was so excited for the opportunity to help them like rebuild back their school and serve more people in their communities during such a hard time and provide a better lives for themselves and the whole family. And yeah, basically over the last 3 years, just honestly been trying to perfect my craft. Like every single day, even now, I'm always trying to get 1% better. And through Facebook ads, through working on content and social media and building their brand and making their programs better and a lot of things. We've took them from 0 students at that time to now they have 2 locations. They're opening up their third location in January. They're doing around $100,000 per month. And my goal for my parents in the next 3 to 5 years is to help them grow their school to, or schools, as they open more schools, to 1 million a month collectively, and to just impact the lives of so many people around Ontario. Over the past 3 years too, I have taken the knowledge that I applied to my parents' martial arts school, and other school owners started contacting me. I ended up working with some like software companies and in the industry and doing white labeling services for them. And I've had the privilege to work with over 250 martial arts schools all around US, Australia, Canada, UK over the last 3 years. So yeah, I just turned 24 last Monday, and I've had quite the experience over the last 3 years. And my goal in the industry is just to move our martial arts industry forward as a whole. It was very frustrating to me as a kid to see how far behind we were compared to lots of other similar industries. And it bothers me because, as all of you guys know, martial arts has the impact to change people's lives for the better. Like I remember working at my parents' school and seeing people coming in from all different types of backgrounds, kids who were special needs, kids who were getting bullied, people who are like in their 40s and 50s who were stressed out and they're dealing with all different types of problems. And I know what martial arts did for them firsthand. So it's just frustrating for me that the industry, there's so much more that we can be doing, and I want to convince more everyday people around the world to partake in martial arts, because I think over time that'll make the world a better place. And that's my mission, to work with great people and help move our martial arts industry forward.
Yeah, and he was smart enough to hire me. I mean, I'm gonna toot my own freaking horn. I know my shit because I'm learning constantly. And together, what we've done in 6 months, we have one kickboxing ad we made. And they kept telling me, you gotta fly out, we're gonna fly out, we're gonna shoot footage. I said, that's not logical for the average school owner. We have to teach them how to shoot this stuff. We'll edit, we'll set up the ads, we'll do all of that. But if we don't have them shoot it, that's just not cost effective. What do you mean? Well, because you guys freaking, I'm a businessman. That's not cost effective. We're gonna have to charge people a lot of money. And we have a white label service, but it doesn't make sense. So we, between Brock and I, we did a script and we came up with something, and we went standard first. I was the narrator, me walking around the school, right? Everybody, you're the one, you're walking around the school, you're going somewhere, you're doing it, right? And so I shot the thing, and then we shot the footage, and I said, take me out. He goes, what? Take me out. It's a kickboxing ad, pull me out. He pulled me out completely. We went with 2 women, used the actual class footage, and I was the narrator. Now, what is the shelf life of most Facebook ads? 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
2 weeks. How long has this thing been going?
It is still running to this day, and we started running it in May. It is probably one of our best performing ads we've ever run.
because we were unafraid. All I said is, it doesn't work, it doesn't work. No, most you don't have that kind of money to burn, you guys. You don't. Tell me you can spend $6,000 a month on ads. You can. It's crazy. It's insane. I wouldn't tell anybody to do that. I can. So that's one. Give us 20 more of those where we can just send you a script and say, Jeremy, here's the first 9 seconds. Watch this video. Here's what we need you to say. Shoot it. Copy it exactly like you see. No different than karaoke, no different than a TikTok video, just copy it. Why is TikTok so big? Some famous Charlie D'Amelio does some little freaking thing, then everybody's the same thing as Charlie D'Amelio, and they post it with the damn song. Am I right?
Yeah.
So why can't you do that as a school owner? Right? I send you a video, Jeremy, do this like that. So, you know, and you know, you get what I'm saying, right? If we give you a frame composition with this line, and it's not saying a whole script. I have teleprompters on my phone and everything. I tested that. All you gotta do is shoot this, 9 seconds, frame it like this, say this line, send it to us. Do the next one, do the next one. So that's what I believe is the future. I do. And we tested that, and we've proven a point that with a damn cell phone, with a good iPhone, not you crappy Google, whatever you use, Android, fools, what am I saying? Apple, please endorse us. No, I mean, just with a simple iPhone, composition, decent lighting, we're able to produce something, right? Look at some of the most watched TikTok videos. Just some schmo sitting in their room, you know, eating a live fish or something, right? It's not well lit. It's not even mic'd properly. So that got me thinking. So we can educate you, you'll be empowered. And you'll understand why this happens. And you'll be more inclined to want to do more digital marketing. But if all you're going to do is blindly cut a check and hand it to some, you know, guy who claims he's the next latest, greatest thing, you're going to lose. Who remembers? Who was there the first time Stephen Weinstein spoke? He was scared as shit, just like this guy loves it. But I protect Stephen till this day. Stephen is another, you know, savant. He really knows his stuff. And when Stephen first was here, he had 200 websites. Now he's up to like 900. I know, I just know. And the story is impeccable. Stephen Weinstein's was, my instructor school is kind of dying and I like to make websites and you know, so I just started making them websites. It was all born out of love. Stephen's love for not wanting to see his instructor school die. This is Aadam and his brother's love to help his parents rebound from the pandemic. How are you going to fail? And if you do what you love, you do it smart, you do it right, the potential's unlimited. Yeah? Yeah. So that's why I believe this is a good fit for me. And this is my next direction. So I'm going to share that with everybody. We're rebranding from Dojo Launch, which is a suck-ass name. Tell me, Dojo Launch with a rocket ship, suck-ass, everybody? Everybody raise your hand, suck-ass. Okay, good. We're going to Kin Creative, because they're family. And our mantra is family above all. Not what you normally hear from digital media company, but that's where this was born. Out of the need to serve his family above all, he took the Facebook courses. He mined the data. He practiced. You know, even met Gary Vee, because I was his hero at freaking 10 or so crazy. 17?
Yeah, 17.
Yeah. How many kids at 17 want to go meet Gary Vee? Right? It's like when Stephen Weinstein said, when I was 13, I made a website. Why? You're 13. I don't know, I just loved it. Well, you can't buy that kind of stuff. You can't buy that. You know, and so we're going to be King Creative. This is the first time I publicly announced it. My lawyer's working on paperwork, but I'm excited. I'm really excited to do creative work that I've wanted to do for a long time because I'm tired of us all bleeding out. I'm really, really, really tired of it because you guys are left at their mercy because you don't know better. So you just go, okay. You know, and so that's it, because if you don't do digital marketing, you're always going to be short, right? We're not talking about a legacy like Terry or my business. We're well established. You need digital marketing, but you need the right digital marketing. The thing I love about Google Leads, and Adam, expand upon this. Why do you think Google is a good source?
Google's a great source because you're reaching a high intent audience. Um, like Brandon said, I don't think there's definitely not one way to market. You have to market 70 ways to 70 people, but Google is definitely an essential part of your marketing strategy because you're reaching people when they're looking for you. So if you think about it this way, the mindset of people when they're scrolling on social media, they're not looking for martial arts. They're there for entertainment, right? They're just checking out friends' posts on the feed. And Facebook/Instagram ads are more interruption based, where they see an ad, captures their attention, and then they're going to sign up from there. Whereas with Google Ads, you know if someone's looking at karate classes near me or karate classes in Millbrae or kids karate classes, they are looking for you. So that means they're in the consideration or ready to buy phase. So as long as you position an ad in that number one spot and it resonates with what someone is looking up, you have a decent offer and they recognize your brand, you're gonna capture that lead. But you're not only gonna capture that lead is gonna have a higher chance of booking a class and actually showing up to the class because they took the time to look you up versus them making an impulsive decision on a social media platform.
Yeah, and I think as we gather more and more data, we're gonna find people that come to us through Google are more likely to show up.
Yeah.
Whereas people through Facebook ads are impulsive, because I'm scrolling through my feed on karate, sign, okay, sure, and keep scrolling. So it's a much different audience. And we all say the problem with the digital media companies we work with is we get poor leads. Who's ever said that? Yeah, we all feel that way, right? Okay. So here's just some real nuts and bolts, write it down. Make sure you have your Google business page. Let me back up on that. If you want to have a verified Google business page, the first thing you do is claim it at Google. Okay? The second thing they do is send you a postcard to make sure the address you're claiming this business is at is legitimate. Then you put the code in, and now it's verified. This is a brick and mortar established business. So you're missing a step there. You're missing a step. So write it down, we'll talk later. Now, after that, you're right. It's much like any social media platform. You should always be updating photos. I have one photo that's got 30,000 views at Google. One photo. And ironically, here's data. Without even talking to these guys, when they started running my my Facebook ads, what was the first picture you took?
That photo with 30,000 views.
Coincidence? No. They didn't even know this thing had 30,000 views. They took that photo. What do you think the algorithms and the spiders going around are going to think of that photo? There you go. So then you also want the 5-star reviews. Who has the stars on the side of their name? Up on top. Yeah, and how many reviews do you have to get that? I think it's 9. If I'm not wrong, it's like 9. Cool? Now, Google's looking for trust. So what does Google connect to? Your website. That's why I'm a huge advocate for a properly coded website. Because I need a website where my guys can go in, update photos, update copy, change the pop-up. We're closed for Thanksgiving. I don't want to sit there and wait 48 hours for some web designer to fix it. The empowerment that comes with the guys going in, boom, and fixing the pop-up so it doesn't say Labor Day when it's freaking Halloween, and put Thanksgiving's cup, is just awesome. So again, constant update of photos at Google. Everybody does that? Who batches photos to Google every week? Yeah, every week. What's the problem with once a month? A little bit of something's a whole lot better. It's consistent. Google's looking for that trust. And a lot of people do that. Their website's static for months. Then they flood it for 3 weeks with photos and all that. Google frowns on that big time. And of course, you need reviews. You have to have a minimum of 100 reviews.
To be honest, with our clients, we don't just focus on one specific platform. You want to capture content and then allocate that content to as many platforms as possible. But I would say that if you're going to focus on two, the main two to focus on is Facebook and Instagram. Why? Because you want to show your content where your ideal audience is. And you're not marketing to kids. Kids don't have the money to sign themselves up. You're marketing to parents, right? And that's still where majority of parents congregate. So I'd focus on Facebook and Instagram. Instagram, you're going to see faster growth than Facebook because Facebook has been around for so long and there's so much content on the platform. So the way the algorithm works is it's just a lot harder to grow organically. Whereas Instagram, it is harder than 5 years ago, but you can still get very solid growth if you post good quality content that resonates with your audience and you do it consistently. You don't just post once, every once in a blue moon. And as far as Facebook and Instagram goes, I strongly recommend focusing on Reels because Reels is just, it's a way to boost your engagement on the algorithm. It's a new feature that Facebook and Instagram have been pushing in the last couple of years. And whenever a social media platform releases a new feature, when you use that feature, you're gonna get a boost of engagement because they want to incentivize their users to use that new feature. So I strongly recommend posting a lot of reels, but here's the thing, you can't just post like sucky content like on reels. You have to post good content that is impactful, that builds a relationship with your audience. So things I would focus on for Facebook and Instagram is, post some video clips of your classes, post a video once a week of an instructor talking about like the life skill of the week or the life skill of the month. Post some testimonial videos. Show different aspects of your school. You don't just want to be, posting like a generic graphic every single day, because I know so many schools that do that. They use like a generic social media service and it does nothing, because why would anyone sign up at your school if you're just posting the same stock photo as the next school who's using the exact same service, right? People are going to sign up with you for who you are, and no one can be you like you can be you. So double down on who you are. The one great thing about working with Brannon and Wisdom, and the one thing I learned is core values and branding. On my way here, I was listening to an old Steve Jobs speech from, I think it was like the 90s or something like that. And he said, marketing is all about values. So you need to define what your values are. And then through your social media content, through your ads, through everything that you put out there, it should be consistent with those values.
Yeah, because, consistency breeds trust. I go to my favorite restaurant, order my favorite dish, you make it just the way I like, I go again. I go a second time, a different cook's on duty, he don't make it right, I might go a third time. It's the same thing here, and I can't express that enough. Even Hachi Kopar said that years ago, your digital imprint is really, really important. Well, it's on my private page. Some guy that was reaching out to me, he's smoking a cigar, and he's drinking, right? And he goes, that's on my private page. I said, there's nothing private on the internet. You're a fool if you think that. Nothing. There's not a single person here. You block me 10 times, which way, I will find your stuff. I guarantee you, I will prove you wrong. So when I learned that lesson, I'm very mindful, and that's part of our mission, is we do these great ads for you, and then you got some jacked, social media content. Like, what the heck, right? It doesn't help. So understand your digital imprint is everything today. And if you look at a company like Apple, what I've learned from Apple is they control the narrative. Recently, they released their little VR things, right?
One Vision Pro.
Never did they say AI, and never did they say meta, the metaverse. Never. Not in a single ad, in a single speech, in a single promotional, never. Because they're very toxic terms as well. Right? Why did the writers go on strike? Because of AI. Why did the actors go on strike? Because of AI. So you got to be very mindful of that. And that's why I'm so passionate, who's ever worked with me, who wasn't a storyteller that can call himself a storyteller now? Raise your hand. You are your brand ambassador. You are number one. Number one. So learning that, I think, is real important. So how many of you met a business planner set up where you schedule posts? Yeah, you should, because it goes right from Facebook to Instagram. You can link them. You might have to resize the picture, right? Because that's the worst thing you can do. When you sit there and take a picture that's framed for Facebook and you pop it into Instagram, what do you think Instagram's native environment says about you? It's like taking, a girl out on a date that's a vegetarian to a freaking Brazilian steakhouse. Bad day. It's a bad day. Social media platforms love then when you respect their native environment. That's where you guys who keep throwing your damn logo on every photo, don't do that. Don't do that. Why? Tell them why.
Because you don't need to do that. You can just post real photos and videos and get good engagement through that. When you post, like, a lot of social media platforms too, when you fill all of your content with just text and logos and stuff like that, it just goes against the algorithm. So you don't need to do that for growth. Like my parents' school, Champs Academy. By the way, if any of you guys want to see like what we're doing for them, you can just follow them on Instagram and check out their content. But we only post like just real photos and videos. We don't have logos or any of that stuff on it. And like within the last like 3 to 5 years, we took them from 0 to I think like they just passed like 1,800 followers. But not only that, because I know a lot of you are thinking, oh, followers, that doesn't mean new students or leads or any of that. But we actually track exactly how many people come from social media to actually like signing up at their school. And from social media, my parents get at least like 3 signups per month. And if you factor in your lifetime value, the average duration of a student multiplied by the average membership price, you guys have CRM, it should tell you that number. For my parents, it's roughly, I think, $2,500 is the average value of a student over the lifetime at their school. That means their social media is generating them $7,500 in revenue every single month. So don't just pay attention to the vanity metrics. When you build a strong brand and you post over time, it's going to result in new students for your business as well and reinforcing your business to existing students.
But it is what it is. And if you're not leveraging it, you're going to lose, right? Especially if you're a new business. A new business really, again, like Terry said, we may not be the best examples. We're established, people know, word of mouth is our strongest suit. But if you're new, you gotta be leveraging that heavily. You're only trying to control a 3 to 5 mile radius of your brick and mortar location. So that's not the best example, but come on. My studio pays me, Market Muscles pays me, I'm an influencer, Tucson pays me. I'm a brand ambassador, I get paid for that. Yeah, so I understand it. There's a lot of influencers, there's a lot of brand ambassadors. Not a lot for our industry, not when it comes to social media and things like that. But honestly, in our situation, 3 to 5 mile brick and mortar location, that's all you need. So that would be my focus, Noah.
So
My big takeaway I keep hearing from Aadam, video. You have way too many static shots.
I think you made a great point. You need to find the right influencers because we're brick and mortar businesses, right? So we're playing a very different game than e-commerce businesses who are marketing to the whole world. So yeah, you definitely want to turn there's a book by Seth Godin, This is Marketing, and he talks about turning your customers into raving fans, because then you basically have like an army like working for you, just preaching your brand and putting it out there. However, one thing that we've been having conversations about this in the last couple of weeks is we actually are going to test a form of influencer marketing, but it's different than what e-commerce brands does. So it's called UGC, user generated content. And you guys have probably seen those like TikTok videos or those Instagram videos if it's like a chick or like on a bike and she's like putting on her stuff and then she's going and working out, or maybe it's like a dude going to the gym for the first time, and it's basically like a first person point of like video where it's showing the person like trying out the product or service like organically. So one thing that one of the next ads that we're going to be testing is we're basically going to see if we can find an influencer mom who's in the local city, and then have that mom film like a first person video of like coming to the school with their kids. They're leaving their house, getting in the car, coming in for the first time, being greeted by not the front desk, the brand ambassador, and then like the whole experience. And then we're gonna test that out because Social media platforms, especially when you're advertising, they like organic content. They don't want it to like totally interrupt someone's experience on the platform. Like Facebook, Instagram, they want their users to have the best experience possible. So when you have like organic style ads like that, it performs really well. And if you guys want to see an example of that, by the way,
Peloton.
yeah, Peloton. If you look up Facebook ad library on your phones and then you type in United States and then you type in Peloton, you guys can see a bunch of examples of like what those ads look like.
And it's a really good resource for ideas and stuff that are floating up. This time they turned me on and I started looking and going, oh, that's really cool. But just visualize that. A mom sitting at her computer, looking at her watch, grabbing her bag, heading out the door. We show her getting in the car. Next shot, she's coming into the school. Next shot, she's doing her hand wraps. Next shot, she's in the bag hitting. Right? That's a UGC. That's an example. And of course, we promote the One Martial Arts Fitness Kickboxing. So it's very powerful because you can only keep your own damn face there for so long, and that type of stuff. You have to diversify or people get numb to your ads, right? They get numb to what you do.
As far as Facebook ad goes, I recommend usually a minimum budget of $30 per day because even with Google ads as well, because ad platforms are in auctions
A day.
a day, so about 900 per month. Ad platforms are an auction system. You're competing against other businesses in your area, right? So if your bid is not high enough in the auction system, then your ads just aren't going to perform that well. So you need to have a realistic budget to get the results you want. And the thing that I do want to emphasize though, is with all the tactics we give you guys and any value you get from this today, you guys can have the perfect marketing plan and doing everything right, but if you don't have a good brand, if you don't have a really high quality program, if you don't have the right team, the systems, all that stuff set in place, marketing isn't going to help you. And that's one thing I've learned from working with so many schools is it doesn't matter if we put out the best campaign in the world, you need to have a really good quality program if you want to get to where you want to be.
Yeah, and I think that's why that's what's inspired me to want to become part of the family with Ken. Is I can come in and clean your brand up. I can help you rebrand. I can write you a new student experience. I can help you with SOPs, job descriptions, position agreements, brand colors, how to story tell. It's important, all of it. Doesn't matter how great the ad is. If you suck, you suck. And all that does, you want to put a bad restaurant out of business? Give them great marketing. That's been said many different ways, but that's the long story short. And you spend so much time and money on advertising. I'm amazed. Some people spend like all this money on advertising, but no money on staff development, no money on curriculum development, and they expect miracles to happen. That doesn't make any sense.
It really varies based on where the school's at. The thing you'll find over time, like after working with like a lot of schools over time, there's some demographics where you can run a subpar ad and you can get leads coming in at like $5-10 forever, and you maybe only have to change your ads like once or twice a year. And there's other demographics where maybe it's oversaturated or there's not enough population and it's tough to get leads at under $50 per lead. So there really isn't a specific cost per lead. It really depends on your demographic. However, what I will say is what you want to focus on less on like the likes and impressions and cost per clicks and more on your cost per lead. But not only that, but what's the booking percentage of your leads? So like what percentage of them are actually going through scheduling class? What's a show percentage of your leads? And then what's the sign up percentage? Because like Brannon said right at the beginning, like I love when he says this, it's you don't want leads, you want relationships. One thing I've like so many school owners say to me is, oh Adam, like the low quality leads or the people not showing up. And you deal with that when you put out like generic graphics and stock photos at and like this scarcity marketing. Hey, we're looking for 30 parents in Millbrae who want to sign up their kids. This offer expires in 30 days. And you look on the Facebook ad library, and that ad's been running for 6 months, and it said it's expiring in 30 days. So when you use that type of like gimmick marketing, you attract the wrong type of people, and then you wonder why these leads ghost you, or they're like not even like anywhere near your city, or they never respond to a message, or they're just not a good fit. Whereas what we focus on is quality content. When you put out impactful photos and videos that reinforce your brand messaging, you almost like build a relationship with someone even before they sign up on your ad. And when this happens, the leads are a lot more responsive, you get a higher booking rate, show rate, closing rate. And like a couple examples I'll give you guys is I have one client, Absolute Martial Arts. They were working with like one of the biggest agencies in our industry, and within 2 months, not even one person came in to like try a class. Like every single appointment that booked didn't end up showing up. And I looked at the ads, and they were like stock photos and like these generic graphics with like emojis and stuff like that. And then what we did is I sent Brock and Amon out to their school in New Jersey. They captured really high quality content, just telling the owner's story, and really high quality stuff that reinforces their brand image and core values. Within 2 weeks, they got like 7 signups, not people showing up for class, but actual signups. Another example, one of my best friend, Jamie, he has a dance school in our city, and I've been helping him out with that. And Brock filmed a really great video just displaying Jamie's expertise and what he's all about in the city, and showing some clips of him dancing and just talking about the benefits of dance. And this one ad generated him like 56 students for his program. It was running for like 8 months without having to change the ad. And not only that, but the cool thing about focusing on high quality content, Jamie, the other month, he went to the movie theaters and he felt a tap on his back. And a parent walked up to him, and they're like, "Oh, you're that guy from Facebook." And he was like totally caught off guard. He's like, "Wait, what?" And the guy's like, "Yeah, like I see you everywhere. Like I'd love to sign up for your classes." And right on the spot, Jamie just whipped up his phone, showed him the website. The guy like scanned like the QR code, and booked his first trial class. So that is the impact of focusing on high quality content versus just stock photos. And I know I'm going on a tangent, but basically you want to focus on your cost per lead, your book percentage, your show percentage, and your closing percentage. And the main way to get that up is the quality of content you're focusing on.
Yeah, and if you got a digital media company that's simply selling you that your cost per click is really low, run. That's it. That's why I should sign up with you, because my cost per click is going to be low. That's not. We've all heard it. Content is king.
So the first thing is the way the shots are taken. So with social media content, you want to focus on vertical versus landscape, just because it fills up more of the phone screen when people are scrolling.
Yeah.
As far as the actual types of shots like kids smiling and showing like they're having a good time, kids working together in the classes. Brandon's best performing ad of all time. If you look up one martial arts on Google, you'll find the photo, but it's just like a zoomed out photo of like a really structured class, and all the kids, like lined up properly, and it shows a parent structure. You can, photos of kids working with instructors. You just want to focus on like the kids in the classes having a good time.
What they're buying.
Yeah.
The reason that kickboxing ad is performing so well to this day, because it's just a workout. And we show sit-ups, bag, kicking, punching. The composition's tight though. And I'm big on composition. I think the eye is geometry. Look at the lines in this room. So if you post a shot of a class and everyone's got a hand this way, this way, this way, this way, it's jacked up. Gives you a stomach ache. If they're all in the perfect stance throwing the left hand and symmetrically it looks balanced, the eye's gonna go geometrically, that's cool. Does that make sense? Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. So the landscape stuff, it just doesn't work. Because what you're saying to, how many is mobile now? 75%? 75, 80%?
Oh yeah.
Is you have no freaking idea what you're doing. Yes, Lorenzo.
So the other thing though that I struggle with, because when I'm taking photos in class, is that to get them perfectly in line or get the perfect shot, sometimes you have to stage it, and you can't do that every week when you're teaching classes alone, right? You can't like.
I have a cell phone out all the time, because we take attendance through it. So people think I'm taking attendance, half the time I'm shooting stuff because the other guy's taking attendance. No, I shoot all the time. But it's not detrimental to my class.
In a perfect world, like you want to do a combination of both. So you can focus on quality, like reels every week, post some photos as well here and there. And then reels, you want to focus on more behind the scenes of your school. So showing some clips of your classes and, with stories. And the cool thing with stories is engaging with your audience. So you can run like polls or ask people questions. Hey, like what, challenge you want to see us do next week, or what's your guy's favorite kick, and do like a poll and do two different things. And like you just want to engage with your audience, because that'll like strengthen your audience. It'll get them to share more posts. And then the other thing that's great for stories is, like we were talking about earlier, you want to turn your students into raving fans. So when your students are posting about you guys, you just take those posts and you put it up on your story as well.
And understand that there are two different audiences. You should have a business page for Facebook and a friends and family group page. Like during the pandemic, I did a really cool one, Beat Professor in belt time. And I posted a belt time video on my friends and family page and had and post your video in the comments. It was like crazy. And it was just me tying a belt on myself. Like a quick draw, right? Something as basic as that. Worked around. I did one with washing hands during the pandemic for my friends and family page. And we counted to 20 together. And we got tons of engagement. So understand they're two completely different things. Do not have a friends and family page with 1999, 1999, 1999. And I still follow Gary Vee. It's no longer jab, jab, cross, right? No, it's now jab, 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 right? So content, benefits. So it's really that way today, so.
When you get leads, there's many studies out there. You can look it up on Google, how fast should I call a lead? There's a Harvard report, an MIT report, based on hundreds of thousands of leads, that when you contact them in the first 5 minutes, especially leads who come from Facebook ads, where it's sometimes an impulsive decision in the moment, you need to get back to them within the first 5 minutes, and you need to continue to follow up with them and stay top of mind. The reason why a lot of school owners will say, oh, I don't want to annoy them and stuff like that, but I've seen many cases of people, they sign up on an ad and then maybe something came up. We had one specific situation of a mom, she was pregnant, and she signed up on the ad, and then she ended up having a kid the next day. So we didn't hear from her for 2 weeks, but just because we continue to follow up over time and just stay top of mind, eventually she got back to us a couple weeks later, and she's like, I'm so thankful for you guys staying on top of us. I've been wanting to bring my kid in, I just had a baby, and that's why I couldn't get back to you sooner, but would love to get a trial class booked. The other thing when it comes to leads is, nowadays a big trendy thing is AI automations, and you probably see lots of people talking about AI chatbots and stuff, which is great to a certain extent. You do want to set up automations and have an AI bot to take away some of that grunt work, but you still need a real person building a connection with their leads before they come in for class. Because if you're just relying on we are brick and mortar businesses. People are doing business with people, and they want that personal touch. So if you don't give your leads a call and actually build a connection with them before they come in for a class, you're gonna get those people who book and then they don't show up, or they're just not a good quality lead. So you wanna do a combination of both. Now, for me, the thing that frustrated me for a while was there's a lot of companies out there who they basically outsource the lead calling and follow-ups to people in the Philippines or Mexico for $3 to $5 an hour, just so they can get their costs down as low as possible. But as Brannon always says, your brand is everything. You need to protect your brand as much as possible. And would you guys be comfortable having someone who can barely speak English, who doesn't know anything about martial arts, being a first point of contact for your brand? Of course not. And that's why it's very important to either do it yourself or like have a staff member do it, or find someone who's like actually a real martial artist who's based locally, within Canada or US, who speaks perfect English, who can call your leads and follow up with them for you. It's very important to do that, and when you do that, you will convert a higher percentage of your leads into new students.
Yeah, and I think we can bridge that gap a little bit. If I got an AI, because like I said, I bought a car through an app, so it's okay. But if I got something, how many of you ever interacted with a chatbot not knowing it was a chatbot till halfway into the conversation? That sucks. But if you said straight up front, this is your empowered, your empowered AI friend Jimmy. I'm going to answer some basic questions that everybody asks. Here's our schedule. Here's our trial offer with a link. And if you're established like Terry or myself or you can put prices. If you're in new school, please don't put your prices. People say, well, you do. It's a whole different animal, right? So but at any time say, hey, if you need a human, just put human in the reply. I think if the VC's more engaged and realize their role is super important instead of entry level, all that. So culturally, that's my vision. I want to change the role of the VC. It is the front line. It is the first person somebody's going to interact with in our business. So that's why when we did have a front desk, I would tell them, you're not a minimum wage job. You're the first person they come in contact with. And if I'm a mom with a 6-year-old and Terry comes walking out with a 1-year-old baby in her hand, I'm signing up immediately. That's where I would morph that shit. I'd be all over that. Add a little drool and barf on the shoulder with a, barf rag. You're in like Flynn, right? You can't tell me having your son running around on the floor isn't good news for your business tomorrow. We did it with Braden. We did it with Taya all day. All day. It sells itself because it's instant connection. How many of you see a baby and go, ooh, and you revert to some gibberish? Oh, Google, you're just like reduced. Instant sale. It's the best sale. I witnessed it with my own kids. So, think about that. Think about that. Really, really think about that. One more.
I like to, even though it's important to work on your business, I still like to work in my business so I know what's going on in the front line so we can always be innovating. And last year for a full month, I was just on the phone, just calling our clients' leads every day just to find out how we can improve the service. And one thing I found, we had a specific client who they were getting a lot of booked appointments, but most of them weren't showing up, and it was very frustrating. And when I got on the phones with every single person, I was just excited to build relationships with people and just to get to know different people. So I didn't have that thought in the back of my head of, oh, I need to get this booked. I need another booking. I was like, oh, let me just get to know this person, have a cool conversation with them. And I asked them, oh, so, what got you into martial arts? Like, what are you looking to get out of it for your child? And I get to know because people are signing up for many different reasons. Some maybe their kids are getting bullied, some maybe their kids don't have any friends at school, some maybe their kids are causing ruckus at home. And then I would just build a connection with them because I've been a martial artist most of my life. I can relate it back to personal experiences. And I'd just have genuine conversations with these people. And I was never thinking, oh my God, it's a 5-minute mark. Okay, I gotta wrap this call up. I gotta go to the. I had calls where I talked to people for 30 minutes on the phone. And honestly, personally, I was so fulfilled by that, just having great conversations with people and meeting them and establishing those connections. And when I spent the time doing that, the rates of these people actually coming in and signing up were a lot higher. So I would definitely, when you call leads, you can't just be like, hey, so yeah, you signed up. Would you like to get booked? We have a class tomorrow. Spend the time building a connection with them first before you get them booked in for an appointment. I know this wasn't part of the question, but I do think this is important to touch on as well. With a lot of school owners I deal with, they always say oh, look, I'm just gonna call my leads on my own. But the one thing for all of you here I would be cautious about is it's not realistic for you guys to do that because you have a lot of other things you're doing throughout the day, whether it's working on your business, teaching classes, dealing with lots of different stuff. So to hit that 5-minute call time with leads or to be able to follow up with them, it's not realistic for you to do, and it's not the best use of your time as well. So I would definitely either delegate the service or try to find someone in-house where you can make sure that you're hitting those lead times and you're following up with your leads every single day.
My takeaway with Adam just said, it's genuine. Don't you want to just hug this guy? He's like a big old teddy bear. I mean, it's just love. He just cares about people, and that's what I saw with Steven. That's what I saw. And I was on the ground floor of Market Muscles. I was the ground floor of my studio. I'm on the ground floor of this company. Sam, I just wrote Sam a testimonial. I've been working with Sam 4 years. It doesn't come lightly. I'm not putting my trust with people without vetting it and doing my due diligence. We've spent 2 hours a week in Zoom calls for 7-8 months now. 2 hours a week. That's more than you spend with some of your family members. Am I right? Yeah. And I've done everything but make them stand on their head in the corner for an hour. You know, they're on it, and it's the future. It really is, but it's built out of what? Being genuine, being authentic, really caring about people. Nobody cares what you know until they know that you care. Can you build a brand around it? Absolutely. But you need to be educated. Just by the questions the majority of you are asking me, there's still a huge gap in what you think and what you know about digital marketing, that I think if you understood it better, that you'd be more inspired to budget for it properly. And when they do something, when an ad starts falling and you pivot into another one, you're not jumping ship. Because every time you jump ship and go to another digital media company, you're starting over. Every time you jump ship with a CRM system, you're starting over. So there's going to be a dip in your business and a huge learning curve. And I see it all the time at the different groups. I used to be with Rainmaker, now I'm with Mind Body, screw them, now I'm over here with so-and-so. The grass is not greener on the other side. The grass is greener where you water it. And I've diligently worked with my studio and all these other brands that I endorse because I believe in them. But more than the product, I believe in the people. And when things are wrong, they're wrong. Right? They're wrong. Stephen didn't take care of something. I chewed him out last night because that's not cool. On a human level, it's not cool. I don't care what's going on in your life. Right? If you say you're going to do something, do it. Right? And he didn't take care of one of my clients. And I just said, well, what the heck? Right? But people are human. We all mess up. So, in summation, what do you want to give people to go?
Focus on telling your story, because again, no one can be you like you can be you. So define what your brand is, define what your messaging is, your core values, and just tell your your story through your social media content, organically, through your ads, and that's going to separate you from everyone else in your area. Don't just say the same BS. I teach focus, I teach discipline. Like everyone says the exact same thing. Like actually define what makes you different and preach out with what you're doing. And the other thing too is just know that you're not going to see results overnight. Like with my parents' school, there's lots of ups and downs over the last 3 years. There's a lot of school owners who like they have one slow month and they're like, oh, this isn't working, I need to stop doing marketing, it's not working for me. But with anything in life, there's ebbs and flows, right? So you need to have a long-term mindset. And the one thing that sucks right now about the industry is you guys probably see this all the time. Oh, I'm gonna guarantee you 50 students in the next 30 days, or you don't pay. Like we get emails like that all the time. I see it with my parents' school. You get ads like that all the time, and it's frustrating because a lot of these people, there's a low barrier for entry for marketing agencies. These people watch a couple videos. Next thing you know, they have a landing page and they're making crazy offers, and even though they don't deliver on it, they're on to the next person, and that's how they make their money. And I want to just be us. Like I want us to build goodwill, and I want us to be a company that people can trust and who's here to build long-term relationships with everyone in the industry and move it forward. And I challenge you guys to find people who you can build long-term relationships with, whether it's through marketing, consulting, websites, CRMs. You don't want to just be jumping from one to another. But yeah, the main takeaway for me today, or for I guess you guys, is focus on content, focus on high quality content, and not just having like the craziest 4K $10,000 camera, but like like what you're actually saying in your content, building a connection with your students, with your audience. And if you stick to that for a long period of time, I promise you, you guys will see the results you're looking for.
On that, we'll take a 10-minute break, take a pee-pee break, get some coffee, grab some more food, whatever you need. We'll reconvene in 10.
Isn't that cool, sitting up here? Isn't that cool?